Former state advocate, prosecutor and judge, Willem Heath has been lauded for his contribution to constitutionalism and the legal landscape in South Africa. Born in Boksburg in January 1945, he earned his BA and LLB law degrees in the 60s. He became the youngest judge appointed to the bench in the late 80s in pre-democratic South Africa and was seconded to the then Ciskei Supreme Court.
We moved to the Ciskei, to the Bishop bench, because he knew that especially the old homelands needed access to justice. Yes, there were always serviced South African judges in the homelands, but the access of those people to courts, it was denied to them. There wasn't any will for the people in the different homelands to get justice, to feel that they have access to justice, to feel that they have the ability to actually assert their own rights. And that's what he wanted to do. And yeah, when he arrived in Bishu at the High Court there, the court roll was 6 years behind. So you can imagine how many people never had access to justice. And through total dedication, he brought that court roll up to date within 6 months. And because of that, and also because he had a passion of explaining to people, you know, why there's a court ruling, why his judgments are what they are. He was colloquially known as the people's judge, which was so stunning. And, you know, other people might find that as a big boasting compliment. For him, it was humbling.
Between 1995 and 1997, he headed the Heath Commission of Inquiry, set up by former late Provincial Premier Raymond Mahlaba to probe government corruption in the Eastern Cape. In March 1997, he was appointed by President Nelson Mandela as the inaugural head of the Special Investigating Unit.
Former Judge Willem Heath was one of the people that was requested by former President Nelson Mandela and former Minister of Justice Dula Omar to be part of the team that drafted the Special Investigating Units and the Special Tribunals Act that resulted in the formation of the SIU. He subsequently became the head of the SIU after that drafting. Former Judge Heath was pivotal in the fight against corruption, and this was seen with the work that he did when he was part of the Willem Heath Commission that was investigating corruption in the Eastern Cape.
The Constitutional Court would later rule that his position was not in line with the Constitution, effectively ending his tenure as head of the Special Investigating Unit.
There was a very fine line, and that's what the Constitutional Court found later, is that for a judge to be in charge of an investigative body, that there was an intrusion between the judiciary and the executive. But the court also found that Mandela and my father acted in good faith. That's what I meant about that it was almost like a constitutional experiment, because there wasn't that concept then. And the good thing about that is it is great for our jurisprudence that there is more understanding now that there should be a separation of powers.
To his family, he was a dedicated father, husband and grandfather.
The first thing he actually tried to teach me for years is to speak less and listen, which was a good life lesson. But he had an amazing capacity to, through quiet wisdom, bring out the best in not just us as children, but in everyone he came into contact with. He was involved with child welfare in the Eastern Cape while he was a judge, while he was busy. He was the chairman of child welfare in the Eastern Cape. And he got us, as children, we got involved in that because he brought us into that. So from the beginning, he instilled a very safe place of bringing us to become the best versions of ourselves. Not to direct it, but to allow us to get to a stage where we can become who we should become.
He's behind his son, daughter and 2 grandchildren. Funeral arrangements have not yet been finalized. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.